If I think back to my goals for 2024 as a photographer, one of them was not shoot more black and white. And yet I have found myself shooting in black and white, not often, but more often than I would have expected. And this is an example of one of these kind of serendipitous forays into black and white photography. I shot this at Fort Barrancas down in the Pensacola, Florida area. My wife and I were there with our kids, kind of on the tail end of a trip to that part of the country. And the last couple of pictures that I've shared on Weekly 50 have been taken around the same area. Those were the previous weeks were St. George Island. This was taken in Pensacola, which is west of St. George Island, but still same trip. And we were walking through this old fort, and we were, I wouldn't say we were the only ones there. We were close to the only ones there. There was maybe one or two other families there. It was early in the morning. It was a pretty warm day. And let's be honest, Fort Barrancas is not super high on anyone's list of must-see places, but it is a national park site, and we're really big on the national park sites, so we went with our kids. Anyway, we're walking down this hallway, and I noticed this really cool interplay of light and shadow. This almost looks like it was, I don't know, at sunset or something. It wasn't really. The sun had fully risen at this point. It was like, I don't know, 10 o'clock in the morning. But the old brick walls of this fort don't let any light in except for what comes through the windows. And this hallway that we were walking down, it just had this really cool confluence of arches and bricks and light and shadow and contrast and everything that seemed like it would be a really good opportunity for black and white photo. I didn't have my tripod with me, which meant I was a bit constrained. I had to shoot at a high enough shutter speed so that it could be properly handheld. My Fuji X100F does not have built-in image stabilization. Unlike the newer Fuji, I think they're on there's two newer versions of that camera at this point. There's like the X100V and then the X100 whatever's after that. And the new ones have image stabilization. So you can just handheld a shot like this and get a much better shutter speed, a much slower shutter speed. I can't do that. So I had to shoot at, I think this was 1/30th of a second shutter speed. And it's still, I wish I could have gone much slower than that, because in order to get that 1/30th, I had to shoot at f4, which means the depth of field is not quite what I would like. I really would have liked to shoot this at f8 or f11 to get a nice sharp image with much more in focus. But as it stands, I don't want to focus on what's wrong with this. I want to look at what's right with this. I really like what's going on here. I really like this sense of three-dimensionality, that you're receding into something that's much deeper than just a simple subject with a background. This goes on, and you see the light coming in and just lightening up the rich texture on the ceiling. You can almost feel those bumps of the bricks as they're protruding out from the ceiling. And then you look at the archways and the way the light and shadow create these just, I don't even know. It's so cool. I don't have I am not equipped with the proper photographic vocabulary to express what I want to about this photo. Other than that, it's just really cool interplay of light and shadow and contrast that makes for a great black and white photo. I took this using the Fujifilm Acros film simulation rather than convert it to black and white in post. I just let the camera take care of it. So this is a JPEG, unaltered. I may have tilted it a little bit, not necessarily cropped, but just straightened it. I don't remember, but everything else about this is straight out of camera. And I kind of like that. I like that with the Fuji, I don't really, when I shoot in black and white like this, or even most of my JPEGs, I don't tweak them that much. I just let the camera do its thing, and I really enjoy that. Now, I'm all for tweaking raw files. You guys know that. I've been doing that ever since I started with my D200, like 12 years ago. But there's also a sense of freedom in just letting the camera take the picture as and stick with what it produces. And that's what you got here, a really nice black and white photo of Fort Barrancas. And thanks to the park rangers who managed this location, they were phenomenal. We've never had a bad experience with the park ranger, and highly recommend this.